as soon as we came back in 2019, we wanted to go back. I mean, I'm not the only one who feel like that. So I read those books. It really inspired me. It put my mind on the Camino. And I thought, I think I'm going to write the story as well. I think it's worthwhile. At the beginning, you're excited. You don't know. You're a little bit afraid. I hope it's going to go fine. But at the end, you have also a mixed emotion. And I think it's very important to take time to write how you feel when you come back. I just wrote a book about the Camino, but it just showed you, I think the Camino meant something to many people. And some probably would never plan to walk a Camino, but they were interested to find out a little bit about my story. I think the Camino is like that. It produced this time where it's easy to tell other people there's no rule on the Camino. You do it the way you want to do. You do it the way that is good for you.
Hello, pilgrims. Welcome again to the Way to Your Why podcast. Today, our guest is France Fair. She is a writer and she has walked the Camino as well. And we actually met at a gathering that was celebrated between the two associations from the US and Canada. We have a gathering with probably around 300 something people from different parts of the world, most of them from the US and Canada. And we have a very good time. And I wanted to bring her here because of her experience about the Camino and also the books that she has written. So, hello, France. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, and I'm happy to talk to you. And I thank you for inviting me. And I hope you're well too.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, no problem. Well, so the first question that I will have for you is going to be, so the first time that you heard about the Camino, when was that?
Oh my God. It was very long ago. I think in the 1980s, it started to be popular. At that time, I was still living in Quebec and I heard about that. Maybe through the TV, maybe there was something on TV, you know, to be really saying the truth, I don't remember the exact moment.
Okay.
But I knew that this trail existed. And I always was a very active person, doing sports and jogging and walking and everything. Actually, I did probably the time when I heard it, I was already graduated from university as a physical education teacher. So for me, exercise, walking, it was very important. So probably I thought, well, maybe one day I'll do it, but with no definitive plan. It was not the right time for me. So it was just there in the back of my mind, you know. Then thing happened, obviously. I moved from Quebec. To live in British Columbia. I met my husband. We had kids and working, and many things happened. I had cancer. Anyway, eventually, the right thing happened in life. I saw a lady that had been walking in Spain with a group, and I thought, that's it. We're going to join something similar, and it's just going to make it so much easier for us. We're not going to plan everything. We're ready to go. So that was in 2015, 10 years ago, about like today. It was June 2015. So we joined this group. It is still working, this company. It's called Hiking and Walking Educational Tour. It's called On Foot in Spain.
Okay.
And Nancy Frey, who is originally from California, did a lot of things about the Camino. She met her husband on the Camino. She lives in Spain now. So for 25 years, she brought some group on the Camino. So when we joined her in 2015, she was already doing it for quite a few years. I think this year is 25 years, but this is the last year they bringing people on the Camino. She's shifting with other kind of tour or activities or work. But anyway, that was the start for us. to be confident to go with some people who are going to explain to us. And of course, we did walk. We were on the Camino maybe for 12 days. We did some section of the
Okay.
Camino Frances.
Okay.
We met in Pamplona. We did some section. We did some section with the little bus, of course, because you cannot do the Camino Frances in 12 days. And we ended up in Santiago sometime in June as well.
Okay.
And it was a very positive experience. This is during that walk that I made other plan for later. I knew I was not done with the Camino. That was just the beginning.
Okay. And when you did that first Camino, the cancer had happened to you already or hasn't happened at that time in 2015?
I had already the cancer. I had the cancer when I was 39, and I did this Camino in Spain. I was 55, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, something like so. For me, going on the Camino had nothing to do with the cancer. Of course, when you have the cancer and you're a survivor, you really want to embrace life fully.
Mm-hmm.
And for me and my husband, which obviously it was a very difficult time when it happened. My kids were little, and I always like, okay, we got to do thing. We alive. We got to do thing. We want to do thing that we want to do. Let's do it. So yeah, it's why I was grateful to be there, and now I'm just keep doing everything I want to do.
Yeah, and after that 2015, that first walk that you did, how many more times have you walked the Camino?
Yeah. So 2 years later, we went back. We went back to Europe the next year, but not on the Camino. 2017, we were ready to walk with a backpack, no organization. I planned everything, but I wanted to walk in France. So we walked a section of the Via Podiensis or the GR65. We walked between Conques and Moissac. It was only 9 days, but it was a test to see how we're going to enjoy this pilgrim life. And that was obviously very positive. So that was a first step, just those 9 days. And then we were going to Europe every year, but we had other kind of adventure to do, like Cinque Terre and the Dolomites. And then in 2019, we were ready to do a full Camino. So this time, again in France, we started in Le Puy-en-Velay, and we walked all the way to Roncesvalles in Spain. So this was 39 days. Again, backpack. I planned everything, where we were going to stay. Yeah, so this was exciting because now we were really ready to do a longer walk, and we were feeling confident that we knew what we were doing, the right equipment, and yeah. So 2019, so that was excellent. We liked it. We happy with it. And when I came back, it's when I wrote my first book. Was published in 2022. But to backtrack, so as soon as we came back in 2019, we wanted to go back. I mean, I'm not the only one who feel like that. We wanted to go back to do the Camino Portuguese in 2020, and the pandemic came. So everything stopped, right? So we just left it on ice, and we say, okay, let's wait. So finally, last year, 2024, we went and did the Portuguese from Porto to Santiago, and Santiago to Muxia and Festera. So, and then again, I wanted to write the story. So this time, actually, I did write. So I'll show you. So this is the first book. This is about the France in 2019. The English version. There's a French version. Anyway, it's on my website. And then this is from the story from last year, Follow the Yellow Arrows, Santiago Porto to Santiago. And this, I made a smaller book just for the section from Santiago to Muxia and Festera. So, yeah. So, and then there is a French book as well. I can as well showing it. So this
Okay.
is, I needed to do in the French as well because my family, my friend in Quebec, people in France who cannot read in English, I thought
Okay.
as well having it in French as well because it's
Okay.
my first language.
Well, that's important. And then, if people wanted to buy one of your books, how do they can find it?
Yeah, I've got a website. It's called www.onfootinfrance.com. So the website. And of course, all those books are on Amazon.
Okay.
I'm a self-published author. I didn't go through any kind of a big company or whatever. I just decided to do it all myself. I wrote the book. My son proofread the book because his English maybe is better than me. And we just did it all by ourselves. We didn't want to have any pressure from anybody. Yeah. So this is on my website, like I said, www.onfootinfrance.com. All the books are there. Or if you go on Amazon with the title of the book, On Foot in France, follow the yellow arrows, walking to the end of the world, with my name, people could find it easily.
Okay. So, well, pilgrims, you know that if you are interested on reading any of those books that France just show us on the screen, you can go to her website and then, or in Amazon, and you can get it from there. And that I'm pretty sure that you're gonna be delighted about reading those books. Okay. So then, uh, that feeling that you have when you write your first book about the Camino. What made you? What would you say that made you to write that book?
Well, before I went in 2019, I read a lot of books. Actually, a few months before we left, I wanted to be inspired by other people's story. So I ordered some books on Amazon. I read the Way My Way from Bill Bennett that I really like. I always recommend people to read that book. And of course, I saw his movie twice this year. Um, uh, and I read also another book from a lady from the Seattle area. So one the lady from Beth Jussinon, uh, she did a section in France, like just we were going to be walking. Bill Bennett, he walked in Spain, and we were not going to do much of the Camino Frances, but we had done a little bit in 2015. So
Okay.
I read those books. It really inspired me. It put my mind on the Camino.
Okay.
And I thought, I think I'm going to write the story as well. I think it's worthwhile. And I know, I didn't know it was a lot of work, but I was committed. As I was committed to do a full Camino, I was committed to write the whole story without having much experience in writing, except I was already blogging I think I started blogging in 2014.
Okay.
I like to talk and I like to write. I think it goes together. And I like to share my fun experience because my blog is called Fun and Life. So everything fun that happening in my life,
Okay.
traveling or the Camino, I like to share it with people without expectation. If people want to read, they can take time to read. If they're not interested, that's okay. I do it for myself first. And writing the book was also, um, I know it's there now. I can go back to the book if I forget something, but also it made me go deeper into the experience. What did I really feel that day when it was raining or when I met certain people, So you sit at the computer and you write and you got to think. You look at your photo. Oh, oh yeah, this building was really nice. It was old. So you have all those thoughts. It takes time to write a book, but I mean, I did the best I could and I'm happy with the result. And now, I mean, it's there. It's there forever.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And this is the idea also of this podcast that it's gonna be forever as well. And then people could watch it, and it's not just our opinion; it's opinion
Yeah.
from different people.
Yes. Yes.
It's the perspective from different people that they see the Camino in different way. But at the end, you see that everyone that talk about the Camino have plenty of information to talk about it.
Mm.
And the best part that I would say is that everyone is very excited about what they are talking about.
Yes, yes.
Like someone defined the Camino. One of the person that I interviewed 2-3 episodes before this one is that she said that the Camino is like a different vacation every day because you don't know what you're gonna see, but you wanted to because you are walking, when you see something that you like it, you need to appreciate it because then the next day you're gonna be in another place.
Yes, yes. Yeah, it's an exciting. You never know. Like you say, oh, tomorrow I'm going to be in Bayona, but you have never been to Bayona, by example. So you have it's exciting. You say, oh, I wonder how is going to be the place. Oh, who am I going to meet today? You know, on the trail or in the albergue, and you create so many great memories. It's exciting.
Yes, yes. And I would say also that for me, everyone at some point of their life need to walk at least once one Camino.
Yeah. At least if they cannot do a full Camino, I know it's different if you walk only 5 days or 10 days compared to if you walk like 30 days or 40 days, or some people walk 3 months, you know. It's not exactly the same feeling. I think the longer you walk, the deeper you go inside you. It affects you more, I think. I think the first time when we, in France, when we walked those 9 days, we were proud because it was the first time, 9 days. We did 200 kilometers, I believe. And we thought, yeah, that's good. That's celebration, but I think we can do more. But the 2019 is a different story. I'm not going to spoil the story, but there was thing happening and that was a challenge. But no matter what, I was ready to go to the end. And I'm also, there was a mix of emotion, obviously. At the end, we were proud, we were happy and sad. So you mix all of that the
Okay.
same day when you finish. You know, at the beginning you excited, you don't know, you a little bit afraid. I hope it's going to go fine, but at the end you have also a mixed emotion. And I think it's very important to take time to write how you feel when you come back. I think it helps you to process all the emotions. The return for many people is very difficult because they disconnected. Like me, every time I came back from the Camino in my city, I didn't know anybody that I could really talk about my experience that would understand. Most of your friends and your family, they're okay, they happy a bit, but it's not their thing, right? It's my passion. But so having groups in every places, different chapter, different group you can connect with. Like yesterday, I talked with this lady. She just come back from Portugal. I was happy to see her. I knew she was there. I want to hear a story, but we were not the same group walking yesterday, so I haven't heard the whole story. But I want to. I
Yeah.
want to hear a story because it's interesting for me because I know where she walked and I know her. I walked with her before. So we're creating bond through this
Yeah.
Camino passion.
Correct. Yeah, that's totally true. And one of the things that we're trying to do, we're trying to do like a kind of mini pilgrimage locally here.
Mm.
And actually, I did that first walk by myself on Saturday, to make sure that the route is okay and all that. And of course, it's nothing close to the real Camino, but it's the idea that we have is to make people feel the sensation. And so we're developing all the plan that we're going to be doing, but it's going to be really interesting. I have all that already on my mind, and we're talking about a plan that I know that people is going to like it.
Oh, wow,
Um,
that's great. That's great. Yeah,
then
everywhere we need to have little thing happening like that. I know back in Quebec they have some little smaller Camino, let's say, but it would be too much to talk about that today. And here we're doing, like in August, we're doing a 2 days. It's called the preamble. So
okay,
my husband and I are going to do that. So uh, it's a little bit like a mini Camino, but just 2 days.
yeah,
But yeah, but every Sunday
those
we,
are great initiatives. Those are great
yeah,
initiatives to have.
yeah, thanks
And
to Donna, who is our person who in charge of planning all the walks we do every week, and she's amazing. She every year she does a planning the Camino 101 with some helpers, of course. It's really we are blessed to have all this organization right here and to help us to connect, because
yeah,
now we have no reason to feel like, oh, I know nobody who likes the Camino. I have nobody to talk about the Camino. Like yesterday, I talked with this lady. It's ongoing. We walked for yesterday. I think we did. I don't know how many kilometers we did yesterday, but we walk a fair amount of time anyway. So you have time. You have time to talk about that, and you know you're going to see them again next week or the week after. So it's very, I think it's very important. If you cannot be walking in Spain or in France or in Portugal, at least locally there is thing that can be done. So that
yes, yeah,
bravo.
yeah, and the interest. You see that the interest from people that get informed about the Camino. The majority, there are mixed feelings. There are people that is gonna like what you're talking about, and they say, "Oh, okay, this is nice," but they do not pay that much attention at that moment. But that keep in their mind. Believe it
Yeah.
or not, that keep on their mind, and somehow at some point they may connect with something when they see, "Oh, this movie. I wanted to watch this movie." Or I see this picture. I wanted to learn more about that.
Yes, yeah.
And then,
You plant the seed. You plant the seed. Like me, I knew about this chapter we had here in Vancouver. I knew about it for more than a year, but I was not ready to join. Somehow, sometime you know something, but it's not the right time.
yeah,
But this year, for sure, and I'm so happy that finally we both, my husband and I, we both enjoy it. We meet all those people that we would never know if we were not part of that group. So, like I say again, I need a big thank you to Donna, who started that before the pandemic. And they were just a little group, I believe, and it grew. Now we are so many people. We register for the group, and sometimes if you don't do it fast enough, it's full because there is over 70 people every Sunday that walk and different place in the greater Vancouver area, which is amazing because then we go in different part of the city where we usually we don't walk, and so we discover our own city with all those trails and have a chance to talk with different people every week. So this is fantastic, really.
yeah. So this week I'm gonna have a talk in one of a hiking store that
Mm.
that class that I'm gonna be having there, or the kind of workshop, is just for people know about different questions that they may have about the Camino. And that class is free and it's
Yeah.
sold out. And it's 40 people that the
Wow.
capacity, and another one that have the registration that's on the
Yeah,
store.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
it's I've been doing this class for a year,
Oh,
and this
wow.
is the first time that it's sold out. I have to see how many people is gonna show up, but that just the fact that it's sold out, that made me very emotional.
Yes, yes, for sure, yeah. After I published my first book, I did a presentation through my library. So I said, "Oh yeah, I have a book and I would like to talk about the Camino." Well, I had no expectation. Of course, I was hoping that a few people would come, and we had a poster. I think my poster is behind me here. Maybe,
Okay.
yeah, they made that poster for me. And I went all around my neighborhood and put poster. Well, so they were in charge of the people who had to register to go. They didn't have to, but they were suggesting it's better if people register because the room has a certain amount of seats. So by the very close to my presentation, I found out that there was I think there was 100 people who wanted to come and listen to my story. So I
Oh,
was like,
that's
yeah, I was like,
amazing.
wow. I was like, me? I mean, I'm not like, I'm a like, not a very famous person. I just wrote a book about the Camino, but it just showed you, I think the Camino meant something to many people. And some probably would never plan to walk a Camino, but they were interested to find out a little bit about my story. So I did this presentation. So I explained all of that. And then there was Q&A at the end, very good question. So I was excited to share my story. So I was very happy, and I might again do a presentation for the following story about the Portuguese Camino. I haven't decided yet how much energy I want to put in that, but I might do it because obviously I like to talk about the Camino.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then as a teacher, because you've been a teacher as a physical education teacher, and then also has been a writer and lived the experience of the Camino that is, I would say that is very challenging experience in different aspects
Mm.
because it involves that you have to be prepared mentally
Mm.
as well as physically. It's not like you're doing a marathon or nothing similar, but you still need to be prepared. And what would you say that has been in that aspect the three things that keep you motivated on the Camino? Mention three of them. I'm pretty sure that there may be a lot, but mention the three that you say that impact you the most.
Well, when you walk, you have to be confident that you're going to be in good shape the next day, right? So when you write a little bit every day, maybe, and you say, okay, I'm progressing. I'm getting closer to the goal. But not necessarily putting pressure on you. Anyway, personally, I didn't want to have any pressure. It's why I decided to be a self-published author. I wanted to be the book to be ready when it was going to be good enough, and I took my time, and I needed at some point to wait for my son to be ready to work with me. When you do Camino, it's one step at a time. You cannot, you walk today, you walk 20 kilometers, the next day is another story. Some days it's challenging. Some days maybe you don't like this section as much. Someday you ride. When you ride, it's some part are difficult to explain. So there is similarity between the Camino and riding, that's for sure. And at the end, there is the joy of, oh, I made it. Or here, I've got my book in my hand. So being confident, being grateful that, okay, I've got a computer, I can write it, I can share it, being grateful on the Camino as well, being grateful for the nice place where you stay, the food. There's so many things that you can compare. Learn to be patient. For me, I work a lot on. I'm not sometimes. I'm not somebody who is necessarily very, very patient, but I think the Camino teach you to be more patient, to be more in the moment. So with the book, I needed to be patient as well because I think it took me about a year to write the first draft. Okay, then I printed and I reread it, and I was waiting for my son, but he was busy. So I learned to be patient. Okay,
Okay.
it's not the right time. It'll happen when it's good for I don't know, the universe to tell me, okay, now we're in the different stage of the preparation for the book. The Camino, yeah, patience, to be confident, to be grateful. I would say for me, maybe are the three main aspect of, if I can compare both of them.
Okay. And then when you were working are you still working as a teacher or are you retired?
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. So I was a physical education teacher in Quebec for 8 years, I believe, and fitness instructor at night too. So the day with little kids and the night with the adult, which was great. I really embraced it and for many years, but then I was done. When I moved to BC, I was still a teacher, but I became French as a second language. So I
Okay.
taught French, right?
Okay.
For many years. Yeah. So I stopped teaching in 2011. No, 2012. 2012. Yes.
Okay.
June 2012. Completely. I don't teach anymore. I'm fully retired. Yes.
Okay. Well, but then when you were teaching,
Mhm.
because I'm pretty sure with all that experience that you have as a teacher, you talk with different kind of people and adults and kids, and you get a relationship with different peers uh, when you were at the school or wherever you teach. And that question is for that. So the question is, uh, when you related with all that, because you know the life has different aspects, but all are like the Camino. Because actually the Camino is, you could say that the life is kind of the Camino. Because it's
Mhm.
what happens is
Mhm.
that the Camino, the life of the Camino is longest life
Y-
because it's all
Yes.
your life.
Yes.
But in that aspect, I'm talking about companies and talking about students and how would you say that can relate an experience on the Camino for their day-to-day life?
Well, you meet a lot of people, and sometimes there's people that you connect more easily with. I mean, I remember last year we were on the trail and we met two men, one from Germany, the other one from the United States, and we started to talk. So my husband was talking with one, I was talking with one, and then we switched, and the connection was very fast. Very fast, we started to have really like deep conversation. you know, I think the Camino is like that. It produced this time where it's easy to tell other people. You don't have to tell all your deep secret if you don't want to, but eh, you feel close. You feel close to them, right? And some people, like, maybe you feel like maybe they don't want to talk to me. Maybe they want to walk by themselves. When you have students, also, there is some that you are really getting close to, you have the same idea, or it's the same. Yes, it's the same on the Camino, it's the same in life. As a teacher, I don't think I was on the Camino to tell the people, oh yeah, I know the best shoes, oh I know this is the best walking pole. I don't think so. I know things that are good for me, and other people maybe they prefer something else, and I've got to respect that. I've got to respect what they like, what they want to do. Do they want to walk only a short distance? Do they want to walk a long distance? So we need to be what should I say? Not judging what people like to do. If they don't want to carry their backpack, by example, that's their choice. I want to carry mine. That's my choice. They don't want to stay in an albergue because it's too noisy or it's too, uh, I don't know, they want their privacy. So this is something I say. There's no rule on the Camino. You do it the way you want to do. You do it the way that it's good for you. Um, you can share your own what you like, but you cannot push it on anybody. When I was a teacher, of course, I taught phys ed. I want people to be uh, the young kids to be active. It's important. We have a body. We need to use it. If we sit all day long, it's not very good. We need to move. We need to move to feel joyful. And when you walk every day, even in the rain, you can be joyful. I learned that. I made the decision last year that even if it was going to rain in Portugal and Spain during my walk, this would not stop me to enjoy my time. I was just mentioning it yesterday. I made the decision to be walking last year. We start April 25th. It could be raining. We got prepared. We had a poncho, we had rain pants, and we had everything in our bag with waterproof bags. Why would that rain stop me to enjoy my time there? I made the decision. I can walk. Some people cannot walk. Some people cannot go to Spain or Portugal to walk. So I made the decision before I left that no matter what, I'll be happy. I didn't want to have expectation, because when you have expectation, often you're disappointed, you're sad. Oh, it didn't go like I wanted. So if you leave with less expectation, you prepare, but you leave with less expectation, I believe that you're going to be happier at the end. You take things how it goes, Sometimes when you teach, you have a bad lesson. The kids I remember I was teaching grade 8 French, and they were not very easy to teach. And some days I was thinking, oh, I don't want to teach them anymore, So, but another day, maybe there was a good vibe in the classroom. So it's like the Camino. You're right. The Camino and life is certainly similar. I think in my book, actually, I do have a paragraph or a chapter where I compare. Yeah, it's called The Camino is Like My Life. So I did try to compare life and the Camino. And I guess, yeah, being a teacher was a big part of my life. I always like to help people, help them to be fit, help them to learn a second language. I guess it was part of me. I enjoy.
Yeah. And one of the things that you just mentioned about the rain, that it's still raining, you're still going. And that tells you something about how amazing experience are you having. That when people is walking and it's raining, and maybe raining a lot, people are walking like normal. They are not running. No, I'm gonna be getting wet. No, they are just enjoying the moment.
Well, most people, no, some people they still, it's raining. Maybe I'll take a taxi. I think it's a learning experience. The
Yes.
more you walk, and if you're very passionate about the Camino, you learn that it's better to. Okay, it's raining, but I mean, the majority they don't really like. By example, somebody said to me yesterday, when I'm at home in Vancouver, if it's raining, I made the choice. I go for a walk or I don't go. Maybe I don't go. I don't have to go. But you're on the Camino. If you want to keep going towards Santiago or Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, well, of course you can still take a taxi or bus, but if you walk, you get closer to your goal, right? And then like I said, I knew last year that probably we would rain. And a few weeks before we ordered a poncho, we never had poncho. We only had a raincoat. But this time I said, well, maybe we should have a poncho. And I'm glad we did, because in the story, when people read it, they say, oh, you had quite a lot of rain. Not every day, but a fair amount. So it's a question of preparing with the right material, but the mind is powerful,
Yeah, and then all those lessons that you learn in the Camino, then you know that you can apply that to your real life when
Oh,
you came back.
yes, absolutely. There's so many lessons. It's something I reflect to. Okay, what this Camino taught me this year. The first time I remember in the first book, I wrote the different lesson, and I think I still have something to learn. I think we all have something to learn every day from different things that happen in our life. But yeah, what do we do with that? Learn to be more patient. if I lose something, not to be, I lost a sock the first time in 2017. I had put my socks were wet. I guess I had washed them, and I had put a clothespin on my backpack, and that was the wrong thing to do because I lost one sock and they were good. So I learned to use a safety pin instead of a clothespin, right? So, but there is thing more profound than the material thing. I mean, if you feel somebody doesn't want to talk to you, just leave them alone. Don't force something. Maybe they want to have some quiet time. Some people, they go to walk on their own because they want it just to be quiet. It's a bit like a meditation, right? So if somebody is sitting and meditating, you're not going to say, "Hey, I want to talk to you." You just have to leave them alone. So much to learn, and I think I still have a lot to learn. So it's why I'm planning more Camino.
Oh yeah. That's the thing. Once you do one Camino and you finish, you wanted to plan the next one.
Yes.
So it's like that. Well, Franz, thank you very much for all this conversation today. I believe that the pilgrims are gonna learn a lot for our conversation today. And then, so any final advice that you would like to tell to the pilgrims?
Well, there is a lot of things people know, like buy your shoes ahead of time, buy them a little bit bigger, practice with your backpack. Don't carry bag too heavy, like me, 10%, which is about 12 pounds. I think it has to be. You learn after a few times that you only need the minimum. There's a lot of things you don't need. You don't care if you wear the same pants every day, it can be washed once in a while. Don't try to create that perfect Camino. I mean, people, of course, if they never gone, they're a little bit worried. Is it going to be perfect? Trust yourself. Trust yourself. It's okay to ask questions other people. Like on Facebook, a lot of people been asking me question. What's your stages? Where did you stay? And I provide them all this, and I'm happy to provide them. But at the end, they make their choice. Do they want to stay there or not stay there? I don't care. But I give them information, and then they can deal with it. Just go, and don't. If you've never gone on a Camino and you feel like it's calling you, just go. Don't wait. Just
Yeah.
go. Just go. Don't wait to be 60, 70 years old, whatever. Go now if you can, And if you cannot do a long Camino, do a short one. And then you will feel what it is.
Yeah, you're right. If it's something that the person feel that they should be doing, try to make an arrangement to make that possible as soon as possible.
Yes.
Because that way you're gonna see that you wanted to do a lot more Camino, not just that one.
Yes, and if you cannot go to Spain, maybe people can do something more locally, because they're starting to be more little Camino, but like in Canada, or maybe also in the States, there are some short section where you can walk many days and have a feel of the Camino. Of course, it's great to be there in Spain and Portugal and France, where there is so much history and the vibe, and it's so well organized. But if you search a little bit, you'll find some other option that maybe are near you if you cannot go far away. But no matter what, this is the best thing happened in my life, I think, and I'm so happy that I started 10 years ago, and I see women or men that are older than me and are still walking, and all are becoming hospitalero or hospitalera, and this is also something that is really inspiring me, and I'm starting to think about that now. I talk with a few people about their experience, and I think one day I will do that as well. Why not? I think it's good to give back to the Camino. It gave me so much. I'll be ready to give back as well.
Sounds excellent. Well, Franz, thank you very much again. And to you, pilgrims, thank you for watching us. And please include your comments on the comment sections and let us know what other topics would you like to see on our podcast. And we will try to make those recordings for you as well. Thank you and buen camino.
Thank you.